Welcome to Examshala. Today we are going to discuss the editorial of 16 February 2021 published in Indian Express. But before we get started, kindly do subscribe our channel on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, Facebook and Telegram. Let's get started. So the first article is the author is telling about from Chipko to Chamoli. So he is connecting the environment saving movement or endeavor or campaign to currently linked environmental hazard that occurred in चमोली. चिपको मूवमेंट से चमोली में जो अभी हैजार्ड हुआ है उसको ये ऑथर कनेक्ट करना चाह रहे हैं और ये बता रहे हैं कि कैसे एक टाइम था जब हमने डेवलपमेंट के नाम पर हो रहे एनक्रोचमेंट को रोक लिया था और एनवायरमेंट डिग्रेडेशन को बचा लिया था, लेकिन आज हम वो नहीं कर पा रहे हैं और इसी का रिजल्ट है कि हम चमोली में जो फ्लैश फ्लड हुआ है, जो ग्लेशियर लेक आउटबस्ट हुई है, उसके वजह से जो नीचे के एरिया में ऋषिगंगा और धौलीगंगा जो पावर प्रोजेक्ट है, पूरा का पूरा तपोवन पावर प्रोजेक्ट है, वो बह गया है। 150 लोग अभी तक फंसे हुए हैं। वो सब इसी का रिजल्ट है क्योंकि हमने बिना सोचे समझे, बिना प्लानिंग के नेचर की एस्चुरी में इंटरकर्ज किया है, हमने इंकर्जन किया है और उसी का रिजल्ट है कि हमको आज ये दिन देखना पड़ रहा है। तो देखते हैं कि आगे ऑथर इसमें क्या कहना चाहते हैं, इनके कंसर्न क्या है और उन्होंने इनके लिए वे फॉरवर्ड यानी एक सोल्यूशन क्या दिया है। So these topics can be used in our papers of environment and disaster control and management. So he says that recently a Niti Aayog commissioned a study to reach or rather to analyze the impacts, far-reaching impacts of judgment delivered by the Supreme Courts and other tribunals like the National Green Tribunals on economy and projects. जैसे कि जो भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट हो या हाई कोर्ट हो या एनजीटी हो, वो किसी एनवायरमेंटल इश्यूज़ के रिगार्डिंग किसी प्रोजेक्ट पे जब स्टे लगाता है, बैन लगाता है या अदर मॉडलेशन को डिटेक्ट करता है या अदर मॉडलेशंस को अप्लाई करता है, जो गाइडलाइंस देता है, उसके वजह से जो करंट रनिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चरल प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं या अदर इकोनॉमिक प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं उन पर क्या नुकसान होता है, कितना इकोनॉमिक बर्डन होता है, उनको स्टडी करने के लिए नीति आयोग ने एक कमीशन बनाई है और उस कमीशन की रिपोर्ट को जो ट्रेनिंग जजेस होंगे, जो प्रोफेशनल जजेस होंगे, उनको ये पढ़ाया जाएगा ताकि जब आप जजमेंट दें तो आप ये भी देखें कि एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ एनवायरमेंट सेविंग वी आर ऑल्सो हैविंग अ फाइनेंशियल लॉस टू द कंट्री। सो इस रिपोर्ट को लेकर द ऑथर इज वेरी मच कंसर्न एंड व्हाट आर हिज कंसर्न दैट वी आर गोइंग टू सी इन द अनदर कमिंग स्लाइड्स. So they want to use this study for training and probational judges. These studies come as a contradiction of environment protection. एक तरफ तो हम बात करते हैं कि हमें एनवायरनमेंट को प्रोटेक्ट करना है, दूसरी तरफ हम ऐसे स्टडीज कर रहे हैं ताकि हम जजेस को ये बता सकें कि आपके एनवायरमेंटल प्रोटेक्शन के रास्ते में जो आप जजमेंट्स या डिग्री जो एडजुडिकेशन देते हैं वो एक्चुअली में कितना इकोनॉमिक लॉस कर रहा है. तो ये आपस में ही कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन है. एक कहता है कि आपको एनवायरमेंट बचाना है, दूसरे को कहता है कि आपको इकोनॉमी भी देखना है. सो इन दोनों के बीच में बैलेंस कैसे रखा जाएगा और सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट की क्या राह होगी वो आगे हम देखते हैं. चिपको मूवमेंट से स्टार्ट किया मैंने. चिपको मूवमेंट 1973 में चमोली डिस्ट्रिक्ट में ही हुआ था. बेसिकली इट वाज अ मूवमेंट स्टार्टेड बाय द लोकल पीपल अंडर द लीडरशिप ऑफ सुंदरलाल बहुगुणा, जिनकी फैमिली से बाद में चीफ मिनिस्टर बने और उन्हीं की बेटी जो है आज रीता बहुगुणा जोशी, जो यूपी में एचआरडी मिनिस्टर भी हैं, तो उनको इस चीज़ का काफ़ी पॉलिटिकल बेनिफिट भी हुआ. उन्होंने ये मूवमेंट को स्टार्ट किया था एंड दे स्टार्टेड टू स्टिक अराउंड द ट्रीज इन ऑर्डर टू सेव देम फ्रॉम बीइंग कटिंग डाउन. सो पेड़ों को बचाने के लिए लोग वहाँ पर चिपक के खड़े हो गए, जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं, और उन्होंने अपनी लाइफ को थ्रेट कर दिया लेकिन पेड़ को गिरने नहीं दिया. उनके लिए पेड़ क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट थे? क्योंकि दे वर द नेचरिंग वाटरशेड्स. जो वाटरशेड्स है उस लोकल एरिया में, जो कमांड एरिया होता है, द वाटरशेड एरिया ऑफ द रिवर्स, द trees are very much important for nurturing these watersheds. Similarly, nurturing of the soil, the humus, the leaves which get fall from the trees decompose and they form humus. These humus support the bacterial activity. These bacterial activity supports the other kind of farming and as well as natural manure for the trees to gain particular fruits and other kinds of produces in that particular area, which is also being used as a fodder, fuel and food in many parts of these regions, and that is why they were eager. They kept their life for saving these trees, and they also checked the very important geographical importance of these trees, where they checked the erosion. And since they were checking the erosion, they were also contributing in helping or rather preventing those landslides, because these areas are highly young fold sedimentary rocks, and we know that the sedimentary young fold rocks are nothing but a highly eco-sensitive zone which are prone to landslides and other disasters. But these trees actually help to bind the upper layer of soil together, so that the process of landslides or the erosion, which starts from the sheet erosion to gully erosion to ravines, gets stopped, and similarly it kind of prevents the process of landslide. So this movement started, and this movement had a combination of three things. That is ecofeminism. Ecofeminism means most of the females were very much aggressive and very much participant. Males के comparison में females were more active in this movement. They had the Gandhian Satyagraha, that is, this movement was completely non-violent, and it was one Bachao Andolan. So an Andolan by man to save the nature, to safeguard the trees. Now, the actual concern about this Niti Aayog report and the outstanding and the kind of and nature of the government towards the environment, and they want to propel this study to the judges also, so that if they keep in their mind when are giving their judgments regarding the environmental cases, environmental protection cases, to know actually what is going to be the financial or the economic cost of their judgment is actually a matter of concern for the author, and he is also providing some measures for that. So we are going to see this. These jobs and revenue loss study will completely materialize the environment protection spirit. And environment protection spirit, which is not only a material thing, which is also a sensual, which is also a far-reaching impact, which is also some kind of a aesthetic thing, spiritual thing, it will materialize in. It will give, when we are giving a monetary value to anything, the moment we are giving a monetary value to any kind of motion, action or promotion, we are actually materializing it. Young fold mountains, which are very sensitive zones, should be dealt with minimum interference. We have seen in many eco-sensitive countries in Europe, they have limited the number of vehicles registered, they have limited the number of areas to be built, they have limited the number of infrastructure, and they have limited the number of hotels, etc. to be built. Why? In order to safeguard the eco-sensitivity of that particular place. We also need to do that. In our competition for being ease of living or ease of doing business, what we are doing is we are providing more and more land, we are constructing more and more roads, we are providing more and more power, electricity, in order to become more ease of living and ease of doing. But what actually we are doing is we are hampering the local eco-sensitive zone, and we are interfering in the virgin nature, and that is why we are getting heavy casualties as a result. So there is a strict time to think that what type of development we need. Do we need a kind of development that is actually a destruction in waiting, or we need a sustainable development? That is the question. Sustainable development plans with more stringent actions and measures should be adopted by the people. This is their measures by the author. Similarly, it is also alarming that nearly 1400 glaciers are on the way to retreat. यानी कि 1400 से ज़्यादा ग्लेशियर पिघल रहे हैं और तैयारी में हैं. यानी कि the global warming which we are causing, the greenhouse effect, are actually causing harm to the 1400 glaciers. And with respect to this eco-fragility, we need to respect the ego-fragile. Fragile means sukumarita, sensitivity. So we need to respect this eco-fragility of that region. More scientific data accumulation of the climate mountain relations and infrastructure along with habitation should be done in order to understand the nature and the kind of infrastructure we need to grow there. First, we need to understand the requirement of the people, and according to the minimum requirement, we must go on sync with the available resources in order to not to disturb the virgin sensitivity of that area. Development at what cost? The author asks at what cost we want the development, minimum possible interference, and take lessons from Chipko movements. So this was the article, very interesting article. We can use it in essays, environmental studies, disaster management. That is, we should also take care of the local environment and its sensitivities in order to construct more infrastructure. That is, development should not be destruction at waiting. It should be a sustainable one. It should be a followed one. It should add to the properties of that region rather being destructive to the properties of that region. Fine, let's move on to next article. Article talks about the tax regime change. We know that all were expecting, हम बजट से एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि हमारे टैक्स स्लैब्स कम हो जाए, कुछ चीज़ों के दाम कम हो जाए, पेट्रोल के दाम कम हो जाए, अलग फ्यूल्स के दाम कम हो जाए, और साथ ही साथ ये भी एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि इकोनॉमी भी ग्रो करे। तो गवर्नमेंट के पास अगर पैसे नहीं होंगे तो वो फ्लैगशिप स्कीम्स, हेल्थ, एजुकेशन, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में इन्वेस्ट कहाँ से करेगी? गवर्नमेंट के पास पैसे आते कहाँ से? टैक्स एंड नॉन टैक्स। जो रेवेन्यू दो तरह के होते हैं, टैक्स एंड नॉन टैक्स। टैक्स में भी एक होता है डायरेक्ट टैक्स और एक होता है इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स। इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स जैसे कि गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज में जो हम देते हैं, एंड डायरेक्ट टैक्स मीन्स काइंड ऑफ इनकम टैक्स और द कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स दैट वी पेड। तो द ऑथर इज सेइंग कि वी ऑल वर एक्सपेक्टिंग दैट द फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर would actually bring down the tax emission levels, the tax brackets, in order to give tax relief to the people. But actually, in the contrast times of COVID-19, the government also needs spending. In order to spend more, we needed more money. So how the money could be achieved? It could have been achieved by two ways. Number one, by increasing the tax, and number two, by increasing the tax base. Tax base increasing means increasing the number of people who are in the bracket of giving taxes, and increasing tax rate means the number of people who are giving the taxes are going to be the same, but we are increasing the amount of money to be taxed. So there are two ways. If the number of people giving taxes are more, the amount of tax is definitely going to come down. But this is not happening in India. This is the concern of the author. In 2018, our finance minister, or 2017 and 18, our finance minister Sri Arun Jaitley said that India is a non-tax compliant society. This means we are a non-tax compliant society, and how we are a non-tax compliant society, we will see this by the data and the figures. 60% of all the corporate tax, that is the tax from the companies and the organizations, comes from only 0.06% of the companies in the tax bracket. That means most of the companies are actually not in that bracket, or are actually trying to evade those taxes by other legals and other means. Sadly, India is a non-compliant society by which 0.17% of population comes under tax bracket of 25 lakh rupees annum. Now it is very strange to listen that if we see around in our society, it is very hard to find out that people are only 0.17% are people who are having income of 25 lakh rupees per annum. ये तो बात बचती नहीं है, क्योंकि अगर आप अपने आसपास देखेंगे तो सालाना 25 लाख से ज़्यादा इनकम वाले कितने ही लोग हैं, लेकिन टैक्स कितने लोग देते हैं? वेरी फ्यू। सो एक तरफ तो हम चाहते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट ये भी कर दे, हॉस्पिटल बनाए, स्कूल बनाए, रोड बनाए, और हम टैक्स नहीं देना चाहते, तो गवर्नमेंट के पास पैसा आएगा कहाँ से? क्योंकि इसलिए हम नॉन कंप्लायंट टैक्स सोसाइटी हैं। इसी वजह से क्या होता है, गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स स्लैब बढ़ाना पड़ता है, और जो ईमानदार टैक्स पेयर है उन पे बोझ बढ़ता जाता है, और फिर हम धरने करते हैं, प्रोटेस्ट करते हैं, ये जला दिया, बस जला दिए, लाल किले पे चढ़ गए। वो सारी चीज़ों का मेंटेनेंस का पैसा तो बेचारा ईमानदार टैक्स पेयर देता है। सो दैट इज़ अ वेरी सैड स्टेट ऑफ अफेयर इन आवर कंट्री, दैट in spite of people having money, there are a lot of people, actually if we see all around, there are many people we can see that having more than 25 lakhs of income per annum, but they are not in the formal economy and they are not paying the taxes. It is very clear that only 0.17% of the population comes in the tax bracket of 25 lakh rupees, Indian rupees. Also, the tax to GDP ratio, that is the direct tax to GDP ratio, has been declining side on the percent of 9.88%. That means if 100 rupees GDP, अगर एक कंट्री की GDP 100 रुपया है, या इंडिया के केस में अगर 100 रुपये इंडिया की GDP है, तो उसमें से 9.88 रुपीज़ ही टैक्स से आता है, डायरेक्ट टैक्स है. That means only 9.88% of the money is coming from the direct tax in the total GDP of our country, and that is very very low in comparison to other G20 companies, and that is the sorry state of affair for our economy, and it is going to hamper it. And in order to become a 5 trillion economy, we need to improve our tax base and our tax collection system, and we need to stop the tax terrorism and tax evading at most as we can. Similarly, the government initiated a scheme called Vivad Se Vishwas in order to solve the matters which are pending litigation in the cases between or disputes between the tax collection body and the peoples and the company in between, in order to make a settlement outside the court, because we know that it takes time in the legal process, in the legal manner, and what happens is both the parties are getting time and they are losing money. So government made a new scheme, that is Vivad Se Vishwas, but the scheme is also not very much successful. How? Because only 85,000 crores of 4.3 lakh crore, 4.5 लाख करोड़ के आसपास में से only 85,000 crore rupees has been collected, and this proves the inefficiency of this scheme. Now, new scheme which has been announced in the budget 2021-22, that is, it is going to be a faceless tax assessment. So this is going to help in kinds of tax corruption by the officials, and that leads to tax evasion finally. So it is going to help, but in the longer run. Now, when we are discussing the tax in GDP, I need to give out some important tax terms to understand the economy. The first term is tax buoyancy. Tax buoyancy is the tax revenue. If the tax revenue increases, revenue means the income. If the tax revenue increases more than in proportion response to rise in national income, अगर national income के बढ़ने के अनुपात में टैक्स की रेवेन्यू या टैक्स से आने वाला इनकम बढ़ रहा है, दैट मीन्स टैक्स बायोंसी बढ़ रही है. बायोंसी मीन्स अ फोर्स. नो, इफ यू हैव स्टडीड आर्किमिडीज फोर्स, दैट इज नेशनल इनकम को धक्का दे रहा है कौन? टैक्स रेवेन्यू. यानी कि नेशनल इनकम में टैक्स रेवेन्यू का एक अच्छा परसेंटेज इंक्रीज कर रहा है. नेशनल इनकम तो बढ़ रहा है, लेकिन उसमें टैक्स भी बढ़ रहा है, तो उसको कहेंगे टैक्स बायोंसी बढ़ रही है. इट इज द इंडिकेटर ऑफ एफिशिएंसी एंड रेस्पॉन्सिवनेस ऑफ रेवेन्यू मोबिलाइजेशन in response to growth. The second term is tax elasticity. It is the change in tax revenue response to the change in tax rate. जैसे ही टैक्स रेट में हमने चेंज किया, उसके वजह से टैक्स का रेवेन्यू, दैट इज द इनकम ऑफ टैक्सेस, कम हुआ या ज़्यादा हुआ, उसे हम कहते हैं टैक्स elasticity. And in the last one is Laffer curve. It measures the relationship between tax rates and the total tax revenue. You can see the graph here. The upside is the tax revenue and the right side tax rate. So tax revenue और tax rate के साथ जो relation maintain करता है उसको कहते हैं Laffer curve. These things are important for understanding the tax and economic and banking system. That is helpful both in prelims and mains. You can write it. Now the next topic is return of CAA. We know that recently elections are going to happen in Bengal, Assam and the northeast areas, and that is why the most important burning issues of NRC, CAA is going to come. And also there is another political issue about the Bangladeshi immigrants, and in order to expel them. So the author is cautioning those people that the motion or the movement or the environment of politics is going to change, and the CAA, as has been decided or has been declared by the Home Minister Shri Amit Shah ji in a private interview, that they are finally or they are very soon coming with a strict form rules of implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Act. So what is the Citizenship Amendment Act? We will understand it. We know that part 2 of our constitution deals with citizenship from Article 5 to Article 11, and Article 11 specifically empowers the parliament to decide rules, regulations and matters to give or take away citizenship to any person in India. Based on this act, Constitution Bill or Citizenship Bill was initially introduced in the parliament by 1955, and there have been several amendments. The recent amendment was in 2019, which is known as CAA. But now, since the amendment has been passed, so it will be now citizenship bill में ही वो काउंट होगा, उसको amendment नहीं कहेंगे क्योंकि वो amendment अब पास हो चुका है. ठीक है? So this amendment has been passed. Now it is a part of a formal bill. Now there are 5 ways of getting citizenship in India. First is by birth. Second is by descent. Descent means relation to the person who is actually by birth an Indian citizen. Suppose if your father is an Indian citizen and you are born to him, and your mother is not an illegal migrant, then you will be an Indian citizen by descent. This can be interchanged for father and mother both. Secondly, by registration. So if you have to register, if you want to register as a citizen, you can register. Third is by incorporation of territory. Suppose if in some time India occupies Pakistan or in the POK or Afghanistan, then the citizen of Afghanistan, present day Afghanistan, will automatically become the citizen of India. And last one is by naturalization. Naturalization means we have to spend some amount of time living in that country, and that time is actually 12 years. In that 12 years means, sorry, 11 years. In that 11 years, accreditation, that is before applying for getting a registration or naturalization of citizenship, you have to live in a complete aggregate of 12 months. यानी 11 साल आपको इंडिया में रहना है, और अप्लाई जिस साल आप अप्लाई कर रहे हो उस साल से पहले आपको 12 महीने कम से कम रहना होगा, उसको मिला के 10 कभी भी, और लास्ट साल है 1 साल आपको रहना होगा in order to get citizenship under the naturalization procedure. Okay, 11 years at some point of time and 12 months at some point of time, together it makes a 12 years. So you need to have lived in India in soil for 12 years in order to become citizen by naturalization. Second is, in this naturalization the amendment has been done. How? So number first is not an illegal migrant. So the person who is applying for by naturalization should never not be an illegal migrant. And similarly, if he is not an illegal migrant, then it has two norms which is proposed to be relaxed under the two amendments. So this amendment actually relaxed these two amendments, and we'll see. Now, all the neighboring countries, including the Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, there are minorities in these countries, Hindus, Buddhists, Jain, Christians, Sikhs and Parsis are allowed to enter, and their age from 12 years has been declined from 7 years. So previously what was there? They had to live 12 years for getting naturalization. Now it has been decreased to 7 years. Also, if they entered in India without valid documents, they won't be treated as illegal migrant. This is for whom? This is for the minorities in these countries. So leaving the majority community in these countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, all those people who are in the religious minority category, if they are traveling to India, they will not be considered as an illegal migrant, and they have to live for 7 years instead of 12 years to get citizenship. So this was in a nutshell, and this was only today for the 16th February editorial. In order to get more updates, more detailed analysis, kindly do keep following our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.